Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of QuickMail.io.
And this is Jack, Chief Lead Generation Officer at salesbread.com. And today I've got bread in the background. It's a beautiful sourdough. Hopefully it's making you hungry if you're watching this.
But today, what are we doing? We are doing a
Teardown.
Yes.
Teardown. We've got coming up a backlink cold email and a straight up, what is it? What would you call yours, Jeremy?
Wow, good question. I think you have to stick around in order to see it. That's going to be super interesting because you're going to see personalization applied directly on us. My marketing guy received the same email as me, but had like completely different personalization. And I thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah, so it's cool. We get to see two different pieces of personalization for the same kind of campaign. So with that, first, a quick word from our sponsors.
Go for it. I think it's something with bread. I'm not sure.
It might be. Okay. Well, today, most B2B companies lack the time and/or expertise to turn your cold prospects into warm leads and booked appointments. So at salesbread.com, we bring you one lead per day using ultra personalized cold emails and LinkedIn messages. So if you're wondering, what the heck does Jack and his team do for companies that are trying to drum up business, even though they don't have any good connections? Head over to salesbread.com/contact, where you can tell us what you're selling, who you're selling to. Happy to weigh in, share some ideas, maybe even hop on a quick call to figure out if there's something interesting worth discussing between us. So salesbread.com/contact.
Yep. And for us, it's QuickMail.io, one of the best cold email software in the market. You guys can also use it for auto warming up your inboxes, not auto warming up, just warming up your inboxes in order to get better deliverability. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Jack, you're going to share your screen, right?
That's right. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn screen sharing on. Bear with me as I get that set up. Jeremy, got to close some very important, high confidential tabs. Just kidding. Now, here we go. Let's share screen. Tell me if you got me, Jeremy. Yeah. Big hat, no cattle over here. I'm just kidding. Okay, so we have our teardowns. Can you see them?
We all know you're a man who speaks softly but carry a big stick, Jack.
Thank you, Jeremy. Very, very poetic. Okay, so let's dive in. The first one, as I had mentioned, is about backlinking, specifically securing a guest post for none other than salesbread.com. We've got a very active and updated blog. If you are looking for more stuff from the podcast, you can check that out. This got somebody's interest, and let me read how they sent a cold email that's trying to secure that backlink. And by the way, before we just dive in, this is exactly the kind of cold email that we talk about when Jeremy famously said that every company sends cold email, they just don't always admit to it, right? So this is not technically a sales cold email, but it's the marketing department doing growth stuff via cold email, even though it's not what most people consider cold email. So anyways, I'll read the email. Subject, guest posting for SalesBread. Hi, Jack. I hope you're safe and healthy. My name is Noah, and I'm the head of content marketing at Company, a sales tech service used by high growth companies such as Question Pro and IdeaScale. I read your blog at SalesBread, and I thought it was related to much of what we write about company.co. We were wondering if you accept guest post submissions. We'd love to send the SalesBread blog a high quality piece of content in exchange for us backlinking one of our articles. We can even write an article related to the keywords that are good for SalesBread. Let me know and we can shoot something over. Talk soon.
Why did you think that was interesting for the cast, this one specifically?
Jeremy.
Oh,
wow. What's not interesting about this? Right.
I'll tell you two
things. Two things that were interesting. Really quick, is this an A+ cold email, Jeremy?
No.
No. But I bet this email got this person links.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's fine. We are in the middle of actually we're close to starting guest blog campaign similar to this one. And but this one is bronze or one is platinum, I would say. But I guess this could still work, and this probably still work. I'm wondering, like, why does it go through all these efforts if he's not really sure about your accepting guest blog submission? You could figure it out by looking at the guest blog of people and then figure out, do they have it or not, right? Do they have people? But overall, why not just like asking a quick question, like, why do you need to go through all that big thing? Like,
Right.
where is the question mark here? It's like, what do you actually want from me? Could you just say like, hey, are you accepting guest blog submission? We are currently been blogging for X, Y, and Z that are, some of the same people in your, okay, I'm already rewriting
So this is good. So you're actively showing why I thought it would be cool to talk about this, mostly because it's bronze level. And there's a few tweaks that I know and maybe I can weigh in on that would turn this from bronze to silver.
What would you change?
And this is kind of the fun thing. Sometimes if we look at an email that's too good, which we have done, we're just like, nice, moving on. It's happened like twice. All right, cool. So with that,
let's change this one then.
Let's teach you, listener, some cold email writing tricks, especially if you want to do a better job at securing some backlinks. So
hey,
let's start at the top.
Subject, honestly.
Like the subject. Done.
Maybe not the case. Guest blog, guest posting, like capital P,
capital
G is like, well,
exactly. I was going to change that. So looking at this, guest blog sales spread, that's better. And Pep Laha was joining us, and he was a big proponent of all lowercase subject lines. I tend to agree with him on 90% of things. I like this lower caps better. Okay, cool. Hi, Jack. I got my name right. Hope you're safe and healthy. Does nothing for me. You good to delete it?
Yeah, delete.
It doesn't warm your heart?
No, doesn't.
Right. My name is Noah, and I'm head of yada 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 yada. Who cares?
Get rid. Let's go straight to your blog. I don't even
right. So I'm actually gonna hold on though. I'm gonna hang on to this snippet and just put it in notes.
Oh, okay.
At
That's
the
fine.
bottom here. I don't know if I'll want it, but I have it. Okay. So this is, hi Jack. I read your blog at SalesBread and thought it was related to much of what we write at company.co. All right. First of all, formatting.
Yeah.
Big chunk of text. Three sentences. Break it down, and we didn't change any text. We just deleted a few lines, and okay, at least it's getting there. All right, what's the issue with I read your blog at SalesBread? Okay, so far, okay, but they immediately jumped in about themselves. Selfish, right?
Yeah,
if they really read my blog,
they will know.
Don't you think they would have something to say?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Even if they disagreed with something, just put it here, and now I believe you. Without that, I don't believe you. And I know this is like,
be honest and say like, hey, I saw you have a guest blog, or a blog section on your website, and lead with
no,
that.
I don't care about that either. It's like, just because I have a blog doesn't necessarily justify your inquiry here. What I would look for is something like this. Hey, Jack, we both serve a similar audience, people that send cold email and LinkedIn messages. Okay, right away, I know that not every marketer could have said that. So that is a way that they've built a bridge from them to me.
Yeah.
So, and what's nice is it's kind of lazy. It doesn't really take anything other than building the right list in order to say that. And that's, I might not call that personalization, but I would call that customization, right? Like good segmenting would go a long way. Okay. So we share a similar audience, and we've been writing about outbound lead generation for 3 years. And then, hey, back it up. Say this article was shared over 1,500 times. So we know
simply the people for whom they actually did some guest blogs. And ideally, if you're in the guest blog community and you're looking for links and stuff like that, Just mention a few domain reputation of the companies you've been blogging for.
Really cool. Okay,
Right.
great. And then let's see if there's any other good in here before we start deleting stuff. We're wondering if you accept guest post submissions. We'd love to send the SalesBread blog a high quality piece of content in exchange for backlinking one of our articles. Okay, so here's where
details, I think.
here's where something specific would have went a long way. So think about this, Jeremy. There's probably 50 blogs that are writing about what we write about that are worth reaching out to, even if you're in the smallest niche, right? Within those 50 blogs, you could already jump ahead and do keyword research that all of those 50 would love to be getting traffic from. So you could jump in and say here, we're wondering if you accept guest post submissions because we're currently putting a piece together for this keyword and make it something I care about. And we've got 6 experts weighing in. It's going to be the content piece for that keyword, wanting to know if this was beneficial in exchange for, yeah, we just asked a backlink in exchange for taking the time to produce this. You know, we're interviewing X, or it's going to be 4,000 words of you know, full of stats that we've gathered from different sources. Sell it to me. And then you could apply that to all 50 blogs. It's not really personalization, but it's just a really direct hit, if you will.
Would you say there is a lack of authority here?
Yeah, I think that's what they were using this used by Question Pro and Idea Scale. They were kind of name dropping.
Oh yeah, they do. They
you
did.
know?
But you see how I missed it because they were like trying to present themselves and I didn't read it. Like I'm Mr. X from companies. Okay, what's the next? What is the next paragraph, right? And I didn't even actually, you know, consider that.
I mean, think about something too. Like, let's say they outsource this aspect to a content marketing agency. You could say the author of this post has been featured in Forbes and TechCrunch before, so you know it. You know, so we're confident that your readers will get a lot out of it.
You know what I'm wondering, Jack, is like, I think that's like already like 2 or 3 steps. That could simply be your follow-up. Like, what is the call to action in this one? Are you interested in such strategy? You know, like, what is a call to action? Or do you accept, you know, guest bloggings? And so, if so, what's your content? You know, what's your guidelines or your, you know, your what is it like? Submission criteria or whatever, right?
Love it. Let's get clear on that call to action. So number one, there isn't a CTA here. CTAs have question marks almost all the time. One exception would be please advise, period. That is a call to action, but unless it has a question mark, 99% of the time, you're not really asking the reader to do something. And direct response copywriting tells us that's a real shame because people need a push to act on stuff. So
well, I don't know
let me know,
like,
and
we can shoot something over, like shoot words.
Pass it. It's terrible. Right. So okay, so let's put 3 examples here, Jeremy. So one would be, do you accept guest post submissions? Post submissions. Another would be,
do you have any guidelines for, or would you go that road? Maybe. Like you assume that they accept because you've seen some guests. It's like, oh, what are some of the guidelines? Or
I don't. So personally,
I don't know, it's the wrong word. It's probably not guidelines, but it's something else. What your criteria?
It doesn't do it for me. But I'm thinking, are you, or how about this? Is, and then I would say, keyword. Is keyword? Let's just say
something you're trying to rank or something like
sales, that. Right? Like, so is outbound sales a keyword
for which you're trying to rank?
Exactly, something like that, for which I'm trying to rank. Look at my spelling. Okay, and then one more could be shoot, there's so many. We could say, you want to, like, can I shoot you a post of the draft so that you can see if it's on target?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
link
thinking
to our
like
draft.
you could do it like from very light CTA. And by the way, if you go to quickmail.io/cold-email-CTA, you'll find a sort of like CTA swap file. And it basically, you can effectively decide, high, low, medium CTAs, like commitments. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that way you're gonna get less reply with a higher commitment. Like you could say like, hey, would you be open to jump on a call and discuss, the next step? That's probably a super high CTA because you're requesting my time. There's lots of, things that goes versus do you accept guest post submissions, right? That would be a low one. So based on your first, draft, I would say, or first attempt with your strategy, you don't necessarily have to, nail it down on the first go. You're going to have to revisit it, hopefully on a weekly basis. But then you will actually adapt your CTA. So, at this stage, I'll say pick one, ideally the lowest one, because then you will get some replies, hopefully, and then you can learn from those. But I will get the sort of like lower, CTA to get this thing going. What would you say?
Well said.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think this was absolutely worthwhile because there was a few bad things we cut out and a few great ideas, in my opinion, that this cold email could use from now on to flat out get more backlinks. And hopefully if you
Simple
tuned
ones.
in, you can borrow this to, I mean, everybody could use some backlinks, so may as well try it out. And I think you'll be impressed with the kind of response you get, even if you just take it one step further than boilerplate, download something from the internet and send away.
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny. This is on the internet too.
Well, hopefully they won't copy it.
Don't trust the internet. Yeah. All right. Jeremy, before we go on to our next teardown cold email, check out course.quickmail.io. It's where people who like the podcast go when they want even more stuff from Jeremy and I. We have a library of 8 different modules, pretty much covering everything we think is important to master cold email today. You'll watch us add personalization, kind of like walkthrough videos. You'll see the mindset Jeremy and I use for cold email, sales research that I use to figure out how to sell stuff at companies where I'm joining them for the first time and I have a week to set up a campaign. And of course, a lot of email copywriting tips. So check out course.quickmail.io for the goods. You can try it out for free for a month. Why not? Okay, let's dive into number 2.
Oh yeah.
Subject is prospecting idea for Quickmail. And do you have any notes for any context, Jeremy, before I dive in and read this?
Yeah, it's basically just a simple, outreach, and this outreach actually was sent to my marketing person as well as myself. And I obviously put my one into the copywriting, swap folder that I have. And Christian just forwarded it to me and say, hey, look at what I just received. That's something that interests you, which is interesting. That he decided to, forward it. So obviously that something was well done in a sense. And I think it had a lot to do with personalization. So I looked at the personalization was actually pretty interesting on my one. And his one is more average, but it still did the trick. So I think that's interesting to just look at personalization in general. I think for this one specifically.
Well, fortunately, personalization is covered right away as your first line should be. So it's included in that preview text.
I'm surprised
so we're going to dive right in.
I hope you and your family are going well. My name is XYZ.
That's great.
You should do
okay, cool.
Template. Just like it's so easy to do a bad template.
Yeah. All right. Without further ado, the body of the email says, "Hi Christian, cool LinkedIn cover photo. Did you actually ride a camel or just take a picture of a caravan of camels?"
So that's a personalization. And I think, what do you think of the personalization, Jack?
It's kind of funny. It's like, did you actually ride it? So I'm guessing it's not a picture of him riding a camel. I'm guessing it's just a picture of a caravan of camels.
I don't know exactly, actually. I should check.
It couldn't be. It couldn't be that he's riding a camel.
I'm thinking he's in front of of the pyramids,
Right.
or maybe have camels behind or some stuff like that. I have to
Right.
double check.
Okay. So then it should probably say, or just take a picture with a caravan of camels, because if he's in the picture, he's not taking the picture. Unless, right? You see, it's like, I give credit, and I think we both agree that this is going to do its job of the
Yes.
personalization and get the reader to actually read the rest. That's pretty much all the first line's going to do. It's going to break through that, spam,
All right.
mental
So
spam filter.
for the listeners, he has basically his own pictures of himself, but on the background of LinkedIn, you do have the pyramid with a caravan of camels. So I think it's
Okay.
good. It's a great personalization. I think picking up on the picture that people put on their LinkedIn profile, if it's
Yeah.
original or if it's different, it's a great, introduction, because people
It's a
put,
talking point.
yeah, exactly. That's what they want to show the world one way or another. So if you realize that, hey, I've seen that this is different, it strike their ego. Obviously, it worked.
There you
I'm
go.
Christian. Otherwise, he would have sent
Okay.
it to me.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So the message continues. I wanted to let you know about a new lead source that is a great fit for QuickMail. I have a script that scrapes verified emails and LinkedIn profiles of companies and people who are warming up their domains. 2 reasons why they are one offer away from being QuickMail's customers. You'll know how much they are paying right now. They don't care who does it or how it gets done. They just want it to be done. Open to learning more. Have a lovely day.
What do you make of this?
They kind of lost me at the 2 reasons why. So you'll know how much they are paying now. Paying now for what? Okay, and then also, this is a hell of an assumption. They don't care who does it or how it gets done. They just want it to be done. Want what to be done? Want their warm up or their email service in general? Or I think they should care how it gets done. They're losing me a little bit, but up until this, and for listeners, I'm
CTA.
highlighting everything before they said 2 reasons why. Everything before that's pretty damn good.
And the CTA as well is okay. Open to learning more.
Yeah,
Right.
right. What do
I
you
guess,
think?
well, I love it, but I'm with you around the 2 reasons. It's like, it's not, it's bad. It's actually a good idea to say, like, I think they're, maybe I would say something like, they're probably 2 steps away from becoming QuickMail customers. Here's why, like, as a bullet points, you could effectively say 1 and 2. I think that's fine. But I agree with you that the actual argument they're making, it lost me as well, right? The 1 and 2 lost me because I don't think that really applies. It's like, he's talking about what? It's like warming up. Water warmer is free. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, on QuickMail, you got the auto warmer free. Why would I want a list of people who would get something from free from me? It's like,
Now,
of course,
okay, watch.
we know it can list
Notice what we're
things,
picking
but
apart here. We're picking apart the value proposition,
yes,
not the copy, which is a really
yes,
important takeaway,
I agree.
because it's more important what you say than how you say it. It's more important what you say than how you say it. It's more important what you say than how you say it.
One more
Full
time.
stop. Yeah, well, no, I wish that was hammered into me 10 years ago. Like, beautiful writing, great copywriting is one thing, but sitting down and figuring out what's a market that has a real problem and how can we help them, that's the $1 million question. And I feel like there may be a different person that cares a lot about this. It's just probably not a guy who has the auto warmer solution for free. And if it was, they're probably tweaking it. They could have reworded it so it's more important to you, don't you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's like, he probably send it to everyone, like not just us. But I think it's, I was close to respond until I effectively saw, point 1 and point 2. I feel like, I doesn't quite understand, but it's quite a nice idea to say, like, here's how I see those people can become your customers, like, as a step. So like you mentioned, like what we're saying more than how we're saying it.
Yeah.
But it's a nice example of what a great email could be. Like, imagine I actually sell an auto warmer solution. I think that'd be a bit better. Point number 2 should be probably written differently. I agree with you, but the rest was pretty good.
It almost sounds like this is for agencies.
I
You
don't
know, they
know.
don't care who does it or how it gets done. They just want it done. Well, okay, maybe they could sell this to agencies, right? And
Like,
they
how
could
can they
basically
guess it from scraping a LinkedIn profile or whatever? Like,
No, I think they join all those like pools and maybe like listen to the messages that come in, right? And then they go and find the company, perhaps.
Could be.
Yeah. Either way,
yeah.
Let's talk about the CTA, right?
Yeah, I thought it was good. You don't like it?
I think it's fine, but I would have been more likely to respond if they said, can I send you over 10 rows of data so you could take a look if it's interesting to you?
Yeah, because it would have lower my risk and I would get a reward straight away. Yeah, I think
you probably would have said sure.
Yeah. I would have been
closer
to that for sure.
Right. I may even include some data points in the follow-up message where it's like, in case you're wondering, we've got the email, the founder, the name, and blah, 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 blah of all the rows here. Here's a screenshot.
Assuming this is the objection that I would have, maybe I would have another assumption about the freshness, or maybe I would have another assumption about something else. And that effectively is the, the art of a follow-up.
Yeah, and I think you're hitting something really important. In order to figure out what you should include in your follow-ups, think about not only what selling points, what positive benefits you can bring this prospect and chunk them out into separate messages, but also sit down and think about what objections the reader of your cold email is likely thinking before they hit reply.
Yeah.
And maybe write a follow-up that addresses it.
Pricing,
What's
freshness, data point, all those sort of thing effectively. And here's another trick, like this episode is like endless, but here's another trick. We could actually just change the order. Like, if you realize that more people respond on the third follow-up that talks about freshness, put it up, move it up. So you get more replies faster, and then, people or address this problem even on your first email if you think this is the turning point. We got fresh data coming straight from whatever, those sort of things.
But Jeremy, how do you know what the objections are?
No, I mean, if people start replying about one thing, like
that, that's what I'm saying is like,
for example,
there's a lot of sources where you can become informed on what these readers are actually balking at. It could be during sales calls, objections that come up.
Yes.
It could be negative responses. I don't believe you have fresh data, or it'd be great, but I'm really looking. How many times have you seen this, Jeremy? You get an objection that's actually handled already, right? Like, they just don't understand the product.
Happens often with
Yeah, and it's kind of like, all right, great. We need to make that real clear up front, because some people are missing that. Man, it'd be a gold mine if you only could listen in on that mental dialogue for people when they read that cold email of yours. I mean, you would not know what to do with all the money that you had.
In Marvel, right?
Yeah, no kidding. All right, I want to read your personalization.
Yeah, just read the personalization
and then wrap it up.
Yeah. So my one is longer, which made it like harder for me to follow, honestly.
Right. Okay. So it says, "Hi, Jeremy. I saw your tweet about the importance of education for democracy. I recently watched a video on YouTube about this. It's called 'Is Africa the Next China?' If you haven't check it out. I found it very interesting."
What do you make of this?
Well, I think it's kind of neat that they piggybacked on a tweet and shared more content with you, kind of feeding your interest. I like that. And my only question is, how recent was that tweet?
I don't even know what tweet I think I know what tweet they're talking about, but I do love the fact that they actually feed on my interest, exactly as you said. Like, for example, if I tweet about, like, hey, I'm trying to find my next motorbiking. I've been trying this thing. I kind of like it and so on. That could effectively piggyback on this and say, hey, totally get it. I also try this bike. Make sure you check out this one too, because I had a really great feeling with this. And then
Right.
it's like, man, it's such like, it's a human connection to another human connection. It's not just like, hey, I've seen you in front of, the caravans where you like, having some fun with your
It's
camels.
deeper. It's deeper, isn't it?
It's interesting because it's the first time I had like a personalization when people actually try to give me a piece of feedback or, something, try to give me something instead of
Feeding
taking.
that interest, right?
Yeah. And I think that was like, that was very compelling. Like suddenly
Yeah.
I read the email and feel like, is it really like an outreach or is it like a personal one, right? Because
Pretty cool.
yeah, that was cool. So you heard it. If you're doing personalization, try to feed on someone's interest. I think you can go far with that. I got the feeling.
Well, let's wrap up this teardown session. Jeremy, thank you very much. Listener, if you like this and you want some more, or you want some faster progress besides listening to a couple hundred podcast episodes, course.quickmail.io is for you. Jeremy, thanks for dropping the bombs and honestly entertaining a bronze guest posting email in the beginning. I thought that was
I didn't get it, honestly. I thought like, oh, he's going to present us like such a great stuff. And all I read is like, man, that's not that great. What's going on here? So I didn't get it. It's like schooling us on how to change a bronze one into a good one. It's good stuff.
No, thank you, man. Catch you next time, Jeremy.
All right. Catch you later.